Marge Ptaszek was searching for the purpose of her life and the truth that would tie everything together to make sense of what was taught and what was happening on our planet, the fire that was creating all the smoke. Through many experiences, she was finally led to the knowledge book that provided all the answers. She is now talking about this gift to humanity on Knowledge Book Radio, so all can be united in peace, love, and harmony. Please call 1-973-787-7035 or email mmjp99@gmail.com with questions. If you send your postal address to mmjp99@gmail.com, you will receive 3 chapters of the Knowledge Book as a gift. Now, here is your host, Marge Ptaszek.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marge Ptaszek, and you're listening to Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Ptaszek on Transformation Talk Radio. And as we've been doing for a while, we will continue with our Omega conferences that we've been doing, for a long while at this point. So let me explain a little bit about Omega. The Omega dimension is the 19th dimension and is at the 76th energy level. Now, this dimension has not been open to humanity at all in any of the sacred texts. The Omega dimension, otherwise known as the union of central suns, is a unification dimension. All of us will eventually be able to wind up and unify at the Omega dimension. Now, up till now, the highest dimension and the highest energy that was given to humanity is the Alpha dimension, which is the love frequency, and it is at the 72nd energy level. But now, finally, the Omega dimension has been opened to humanity with the Knowledge Book. Omega talks are given once a month in a wide variety of topics, and the knowledge that is being given is actually linked to the unit of central suns, or Omega. In addition, the talks that are given are charged with Omega energy. And again, this is a unification dimension, and those who participate in the Omega talk form a reflection magnetic field, and the Omega dimension is therefore open to the whole world. And this helps people to achieve positive consciousness, and anyone that takes part in an Omega conference is actually doing a great service to humanity, because everyone on the planet, even those who are not reading the Knowledge Book, are able to receive the positive Omega energies. So this month, the topic is Futuristic Cities. Again, this is Call to Friendship Association, World Unification Program, Omega Conference for November 2024. Well, right now, the estimate is that the population of the world is not at about 8 billion, and projections state that it will hit 9.7 billion by the year 2050, which is about 25 years from now, 26. Architects and urban planners naturally speculate about the cities of the future, what they will look like, and how to create them, actually. So what makes up a futuristic city? It may feature a wide range of advanced technologies, such as robots, cybernetic implants, flying vehicles, or advanced medical or genetic research. So what does it have? It usually has sustainable infrastructure, and smart technology is often a given. And in some cases, the plans even include things that haven't even been invented or brought to market yet, like flying cars or extremely high-speed autonomous transit. The future cities are composed of a series of urban hubs, dense developments connected by high-speed rail. The regional ecology dictates where and how hubs grow. City centers move inland, away from rising seas. The region is connected by local rail, bus lines, and high-speed trains, capable of reaching 600 miles per hour. Now, the speed of sound is, I think, 757 miles per hour. So we're getting close to the speed of sound in the speed of travel with the transit system. Imagine a cityscape where skyscrapers are interconnected by vibrant pedestrian walkways, green spaces, and smart buildings that harness renewable energy. So what do these cities need? Well, they need to become more efficient in their consumption of natural resources, such as energy, water, and materials, while reducing their generation of waste and emissions. This means implementing sustainable infrastructure and adopting smart technologies that help optimize resource usage and minimize the carbon footprint. What are their characteristics? So they are characterized by various key traits that contribute to their sustainability and advancement. These include renewable energy sources like solar and wind power, eco-forward architecture that blends seamlessly with the natural environment, efficient public transportation systems that reduce reliance on individual cars, robust social planning that promotes inclusivity and community engagement, the widespread availability of electric vehicle charging stations to support the transition to electric transportation, and the integration of urban farming to promote locally sourced food. So that's a lot of area to cover and a lot of items that need to be planned for. So there are some features that specifically relate to future cities. Number one, they implement green infrastructure that integrates diversity and improving air and water quality. Two, the use of urban farming to cultivate food locally and reduce dependence on long-distance transportation. So some of this has already been implemented in cities like New York, where salads and vegetables are grown hydroponically on the roofs of the buildings. This is local production of vegetables to be able to be used in restaurants and for people. Number three, they have efficient public transportation systems that encourage the use of mass transit instead of private vehicles, reducing congestion and emissions. Four, operations that rely on renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power to minimize the carbon footprint of the city. And five, they need to have effective waste management and water conservation practices to reduce waste generation and promote resource efficiency. So what will they look like in 2050? These cities of the future. By 2050, cities are expected to undergo significant transformations. Anti-car planning and policies will have led to almost car-free streets, with remaining vehicles being fully electric. Many roads will have migrated to well-lit, fume-free underground networks, freeing up precious surface-level space for public amenities. Additionally, advanced technologies and sustainable infrastructure will be integrated into every aspect of urban life, creating more efficient and livable cities. So in a futuristic world, characteristics like advanced technology, dynamism, speed, energy, and change are prominent. Futurism emphasizes the technical progress of the modern machine age, resulting in a look and feel that is modern, unusual, and reminiscent of something from the future. Cities in the futuristic world are likely to showcase these characteristics through innovative designs, smart infrastructure, and focus on sustainability. I'm always reminded of the Jetsons, the old TV series. So what could they look like? Imagining future cities has long been a favorite activity for architects, artists, and designers. Technology is often central in these schemes. It appears as a dynamic and seemingly unstoppable force, providing a neat solution to society's problems. So it's technology that is put forward as having all the solutions to whatever we need. But recent research has suggested that we need to significantly rethink the way we imagine future cities and move our focus from an overarching technological vision to other priorities, such as environmental sustainability and the need to tackle social inequalities. So technology is not the end all to fix whatever we need or provide whatever we need. We need to be able to focus something that is more connected to the human and the planet. So what about sustainability, locations, and travel? We need to answer questions about what can be sustained and what cannot, where cities can be located between them. Now, looking at previous ideas about future cities, the architect and influential urban planner Eugene Hennard was arguably the first to publicly discuss future cities in Europe during this 1910 address to the Royal Institute of British Architects in London. His vision anticipated the technological advances of the future, such as aerial transportation. This approach, prioritizing technology, was also evoked in a cinema in France in Fritz Lang's 1927 film Metropolis. So if you look at this schemata, very nice blueprint, the city of the future. It was also mirrored by architects such as Le Corbusier, Via Radius, or the Radiant City. In this work, Le Corbusier developed his concept of the city as a symmetrical, regulated, and highly centralized landscape. Such an approach can be traced through many subsequent visions for cities portrayed as the physical embodiment of technological prowess. Now, if we look at this, what I'm reminded of is a motherboard, a computer, a computer motherboard with integrated circuits. So rather than simply focusing on technology to shape our future, we also need to look at through social and global lenses. These alternative approaches are increasingly urgent. To provide a safe and sustainable world for present and future populations, we need to think beyond solutionism. And this solutionism is the idea that every problem we have has a technological fix. We need to have a new focus other than technology. And an identifiable shift in how future cities are being conceived, designed, and delivered concerns the people involved in these processes. This ranges from localized projects to global initiatives. For example, the Everyone Everyday project in Barking and Dagenham in London aims to make practical participation in neighborhood projects inclusive and available to all residents. On a much wider scale, the New Urban Agenda Global Vision by the United Nations Habitat Program, meanwhile, calls for more inclusive and sustainable urbanization and settlement planning. So we may want our future cities to prioritize environmental renewal. The Green Machine, a design for future city by architect Stefan Malka, moves like a mobile oasis, replenishing desert rather than causing more environmental degradation. Now, this future city collects water through air condensation and uses solar power to drive itself over arid landscapes. These landscapes are plowed and injected with a mixture of water, natural fertilizer, and cereal seeds as it passes. Agricultural greenhouses, along with livestock farms, support the city's inhabitants and supplement local populations. The project is scalable and replicable in relation to the number of people needed to be accommodated. As we know, climate change brings with it the possibility of dramatic sea level rise. Post-Carbon City-State, a project by architecture and urban design group Terraform, imagined a submerged New York. Well, apparently there are scenarios where New York City is seen to be underwater. This project proposes that rather than investing in mitigation efforts or blocking the sea rise, the East and Hudson River are allowed to flood parts of Manhattan. So Manhattan will become a modern day Venice. So the new city is rebuilt in its surrounding rivers. Former streets become snaking arteries of livable spaces, embedded with renewable energy sources, green vehicles, and productive nutrient zones. This replaces the current obsession with private car ownership towards more ecological forms of public transport. Both these projects emphasize responses to the impacts of climate change over technological innovation for its own sake. Alternatively, the cities of the future may prioritize equality. This is illustrated by spatial design agency Fifth Studio Store City in the enabling state. Now, this is the future city of 60,000 inhabitants, envisioned along the River Stour and the port of Harwich in East Anglia, England. It is based around the urbanization and intensification of existing rail and port infrastructure. It features initiatives such as waste to power generation to support a viable, low-impact city, with priorities including affordable housing for all. Imagining these cities helps us understand how we want our future lives to look. But we must open the opportunity to conceptualize these futures to a wider and more diverse set of people. By doing so, we will be better positioned to rethink the shifts required to safeguard our health, that of other species, and the planet as that we share. This is the significance of visions for tomorrow's world and why we need to create new ones today. So everyone has a different opinion, and those opinions should be reflected in the planning of the cities to make sure that everyone has a place to live that is safe and healthy. Now, there are proposals for futuristic cities around the world, and we'll cover some of them here. So as our world changes, our cities will continue to change. Sustainable, smart, futuristic city concepts began to appear frequently. Designers, planners, and architects are working to create more sustainable and livable city concepts. The futuristic smart city proposals usually have a high level of global preservation, advanced telecommunications, and artificial intelligence. So let's look at some of the futuristic smart city projects that are expected to be built in the near future. First is the line in Saudi Arabia. NEOM created the line, a linear smart city under construction in Saudi Arabia, housing a single building that is designed to have no cars, streets, or carbon emissions. The city will span 110 miles and will accommodate approximately 9 million residents. The project will cost 500 billion, that's with a B, Saudi Arabian rial. The project was designed so that residents could walk to all basic services within 5 minutes or use a high-speed rail system. So imagine a building, or actually is a city, that's 110 miles long. According to the designers, the line will be encased in a mirror facade on the outside, giving a distinct character. Buildings, layers of public parks, pedestrian spaces, schools, houses, and workplaces will be built on the inside. Traditional urban planning models predict that urbanization will develop horizontally rather than vertically. Now, previously, everyone was building higher and higher. So if anyone was ever in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is small, it has a small surface area. All the buildings are extremely tall and thin, so that more people fit per square foot. Then there's a project Tolosa in the United States. Now, this is a proposed utopian planned futuristic city in the United States, developed by American billionaire and Waldorf president Mark Lohr and announced in September of 2021. So this is a recent project. The project aims to house 5 million people by 2050, with the expectation of constructing houses for 50,000. The project planners intended to build the city in the American West, in the desert, like Utah, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, and the Appalachia were suggested as potential locations. Lohr has hired the architectural firm Bjarke Ingels Group, or BIG, to construct a city of the future based on a reformed version of capitalism. He states it as it's a new model for society where wealth is created in a fair way. It's not burning the wealthy. It's not increasing taxes. It is simply giving back to the citizens and the people the wealth that they helped to create. So this city, the Tolosa, is designed to be a 15-minute city with workplaces, schools, and basic services within 15 minutes of residents' homes. Vehicles powered by fossil fuels will be prohibited in the city, with an emphasis instead placed on walkability and using scooters, bicycles, and self-driving electric vehicles. He's got some good ideas there. Now we will look at Chengdu Sky Valley in China. Designed by MVRDV, the futuristic city proposal introduces a livable city into the Lingpan landscape by fusing technology with nature, urban with rural, modernity with tradition. The Future Science and Technology City, part of Chengdu's eastward development strategy, is located on a rural site with agricultural fields and scattered villages. So the dichotomy between the existing rural landscape and the future science and tradition and innovation, past and future, young and old, east and west, technology and agriculture, according to MVRDV. So here we're seeing an attempt to balance what came before to what is now, and so that everything will be in balance and everyone will be happy with what it is. There's also Innisfil, the orbit in Canada. The orbit is a vision for a new central neighborhood in the Canadian town of Innisfil, conceived in response to the arrival of high-speed mass transit connecting to downtown Toronto. So once we have transportation extending beyond the city, then more connection between other cities and new cities can be accomplished. Now, this project was the announcement of the province's transit-oriented community program, which includes the construction of a new GO train station connecting the town to downtown Toronto, and inevitably leading to significant population growth. As a forward-thinking community, the Orbit's design incorporates cutting-edge technology to create a more accessible and sustainable city, with a plan for mass fiber optic cable system that will provide connectivity across sidewalks, streets, and buildings, as well as considering future-forward concepts such as drone ports and self-driving cars to anticipate long-term development. Different people, different ideas, but all having the goal of making plans for the future. There's also Net City in China. This is a 2 million square meter urban development plan known as Net City, and it will prioritize pedestrians, green spaces, and self-driving vehicles. The ambitious city within a city will be built on reclaimed land setting into the Pearl River estuary. The site is designed to serve an estimated 80,000 people. NBBJ, the American firm behind the master plan, hopes that the new district's entertainment venues, parks, and waterside promenade will draw visitors from other parts of the city as well. And here's an idea, the floating cities. During the 1960s, the innovative architect Yona Friedman conceptualized Spatial City, or Ville Spatiale, a city elevated on stilts to span over existing urban areas. At the same time, the prominent British architecture group Archigram designed Plug-in City, an adaptable megastructure controlled by computers featuring removable units. I can imagine this as being a city built on top of the city. Fast forward to 2021, and the forward-thinking architect and filmmaker Liam Young introduced Planet City, a vision where the entire human population resides in a single hyperdense city the size of Tokyo, allowing the rest of the Earth to return to its natural state. Well, I find this idea to be mind-boggling. I can't see how you can fit the population of the planet in one place, but here probably would have to be sky high. But what if the most promising model for a future city wasn't on land? Because right now we always think of cities other than Venice or maybe Amsterdam being on terra firma, being on land. Now, floating cities equipped with modern amenities and commercially viable real estate have been the dream of utopian visions for decades. From Buckminster Fuller's unfulfilled concept for floating city in Tokyo Bay during the 1960s to entrepreneur Lazarus Long's ambitious attempt to establish a new island nation on an unclaimed Caribbean shoal in 1999, the idea has persisted. So we know of two attempts that have failed. The reason is not stated, but they're still thinking it's a viable plan. In fact, there are some plans around Japan to build and are building an underground city, not underground, underwater city, submerged cities. But with 40.5 million people displaced by the climate crisis in 2020 and rising sea levels increasingly endangering coastal cities, the notion of offshore living is starting to seem less like fanciful thinking and more like a practical solution. So we'll look at some of the futuristic floating cities that are already in the design plan. Frankly, I kind of wondering how the water could support all these buildings. So there's a biodiversity Penang in Malaysia. The Malaysian government held a competition to construct a floating city, which was won by Bjarke Engel's group, Big Biodiversity Project, a manifesto of biodiversity, sustainability, and social inclusion. Biodiversity, designed by Big in collaboration with Hijaz and Rambo, is an archipelago city across the bay from the island of Penang, comprised of 3 large islands, each built around an aquatic plaza and each with its distinct role in the city. Biodiversity is divided into 3 major districts: channels, mangroves, and laguna, each with 8, 6, and 8 islands. Each district serves a distinct purpose. Technological is the channels, commercial is the mangroves, and residential is the lagunas. Then we have the floating city in the Maldives. The culture of this seafaring nation inspires the Maldives floating city, a first of its kind island city. It is the first floating city with thousands of houses with full governmental backing and is based on a legal framework and title deeds for the owners. Only 10 minutes by boat from Mal's capital and international airport. Convenient. The city defines itself as a boating community, with canals serving as the primary infrastructure for logistics and gateways, reducing land-based movements to walking and biking on natural white sands roads. In collaboration with Dutch Docklands, the Maldives government has partnered with Netherlands-based architecture, urban planning, and research firm Water Studio. Well, the Netherlands should have a lot of experience since it is, again, a low-lying country with water incursion and plenty of dikes. Then there's oceanics in Busan, Korea. UN Habitat, the Busan metropolitan city of the Republic of Korea, and Oceanics unveiled the design of the world's prototype sustainable floating city at UN headquarters in April 2022. Oceanics Busan was designed by the Big Bjarke Ingels Group and Samsung Group. It was unveiled at the second UN Roundtable on Sustainable Floating Cities, a follow-up to the inaugural roundtable in April 2019. It was agreed to build a prototype with a host city. The interconnected neighborhoods cover 6.3 hectares and can house 12,000 people, such as living, research, or lodging. Each neighborhood has between 30,000 and 40,000 square meters of mixed-use programs per neighborhood. And of course, we have the smart city, which is sustainable smart cities around the globe, which now we're talking about the present in preparation for the future. So there are currently sustainable smart cities around the globe. Smart, sustainable cities today are at the forefront of urban innovation, integrating advanced technologies and sustainable practices to create more livable and resilient environments. These cities are leading the way by implementing smart grids, promoting electric vehicles, and enhancing public transportation networks. Additionally, these cities focus on social cohesion, human capital, and economic performance to ensure that technological advancements benefit all residents. By prioritizing sustainability and smart technology, these urban areas aim to address challenges like climate change, resource management, and urbanization, ultimately improving the quality of life for their inhabitants. Now we'll cover some of the most innovative examples of such cities around the globe. The first is in Oslo, Norway. Oslo is the capital city of Norway, and it took the top spot as the most sustainable smart city in the world. So they must have done something right. The city has made significant strides in reducing emissions and improving air quality. Through implementing innovative smart technologies and management systems, Oslo has been able to monitor and control emissions throughout the city. In addition, the city has implemented an impressive waste management system that focuses on recycling and minimizing waste. So what are the key features of this sustainable city in Oslo? Number one, green transportation. Electric buses and trams are familiar sights on its streets, and there are many charging stations for electric vehicles. Pedestrian-friendly streets. Oslo has car-free zones and promotes walking and cycling. Renewable energy. Oslo gets lots of its power from clean sources like hydroelectricity. Even its modern buildings, like the Munch Museum, have features like solar panels and green roofs. Smart waste management. Oslo is excellent at handling waste. They use smart bins with sensors to optimize waste collection, reducing pollution. And culture of sustainability. Oslo isn't just about tech. People in Oslo also do their part, like recycling more and making eco-friendly choices. Another city that's a sustainable city is Curitiba in Brazil. Curitiba has long been a pioneer of urban planning and sustainability, known for its innovative public transportation, reducing traffic congestion and pollution. Curitiba's focus on green spaces and recycling programs underscores its commitment to a sustainable future. Its key features are the BRT system, efficient bus rapid transit system that reduces reliance on private cars, green spaces, numerous parks and green areas that enhance biodiversity, recycling programs, comprehensive waste management and recycling initiatives. Now, this is in Japan, the Fujisawa and Sustainable Smart Town. Fujisawa SST, developed by Panasonic, is a smart town that balances technology with community living. The town employs renewable energy, smart home systems, and community-based solutions. Key features are renewable energy, solar panels and batteries to store energy, smart homes, houses equipped with energy-efficient appliances, and IoT or Internet of Things devices. So everything's connected to the internet and works through the internet. Community focus, shared spaces and community activities to foster social cohesion. And now we come to the Netherlands with its dikes and buildings with water in between. So Amsterdam has embraced the smart city concept through its Amsterdam Sites Smart City Initiative, which focuses on sustainability, open data, and citizen engagement. The city uses smart technology to improve energy efficiency, mobility, and overall quality of life. Its key features are smart mobility, electric vehicles, and smart traffic management systems, energy efficiency, initiatives to reduce energy consumption and increase renewable energy use, citizen engagement, platforms for citizens to participate in city planning and decision-making. So Singapore is also a part of this sustainable city program. Now, Singapore is often hailed as a model city for its integration of technology, sustainability, and urban planning. Its key features: Smart Nation Initiative, comprehensive digital infrastructure to enhance city management, green buildings, strict green building standards to minimize environmental impact, water management, advanced water recycling and desalination techniques, energy efficiency. Singapore prioritizes energy efficiency with smart grid technologies. Urban planning. Singapore's innovative urban planning leverages data and technology to enhance city services. Then we have Masdar City in the United Arab Emirates. Masdar City, located near Abu Dhabi, is one of the most ambitious and high-profile sustainable urban developments. Designed to be a hub for clean tech companies, Masdar City employs renewable energy sources, such as solar power, to meet its energy needs. The city aims to be carbon neutral and has set a target to have zero waste. Innovative transportation solutions, including a personal rapid transit system and electric vehicles, minimize the carbon footprint of commuting. Its key features: renewable energy, extensive use of solar panels and wind turbines, zero waste, comprehensive recycling and waste management systems, smart transportation, automated electric vehicles, and efficient public transport. So we are making significant strides towards realizing the vision of futuristic cities. Urban planners and architects are increasingly focused on sustainable infrastructure, smart technology, and advanced transportation systems. As we have seen, many cities are already integrating renewable energy sources, eco-forward architecture, and efficient public transportation systems to reduce reliance on individual cars and minimize carbon footprints. So all these cities have the goal of being self-sustainable, meaning things do not get destroyed and thrown away, but they are reused and used again or transformed into something else that is also usable and then transformed to something else, otherwise known as, oh, I forgot the word. Never mind. Projects like those we have reviewed showcase innovative approaches to urban planning that prioritize sustainability and livability. While we still have challenges to overcome, such as addressing social inequalities and environmental sustainability, the progress made so far indicates that we are on the right path towards creating the cities of the future. So the focus has changed from high tech and technology solving all our problems to living within the environment, living within the planet as we have, and making sure that whatever we do does not hurt either ourselves or the planet and the environment around us. Now we have a quote from the knowledge book in Fatigal 55, where it talks about responsibilities of the human. So number 3, responsibility and family responsibility. It is the only view of the divine ranks that humans will gain humane qualities in proportion with their loyalty to their homes. Supreme qualities like patience, tolerance, altruism, forgiveness are blessings this noble institution will make you gain, except very abnormal life conditions. So as your family is, so will the world be. And number 4, in terms of responsibility, is social responsibility. Consciousness of sharing and material moral sacrifice are the most prominent and required qualities. Here, the thought registers of the given donations are card indexed. So when you are generous, when you are giving something, what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you're doing is being evaluated. Meaning, are you giving something to someone to get something back? Is it basically a bartering tool because you want something from that person or that community or that state? Because here, the material and moral sacrifice that are talking about is basically giving without expecting anything in return. It is a gift. Once it leaves your hand, it is somebody else's. You no longer control it and you no longer can use it for your own purposes. And again, we're continuing with Article 55. The 5th responsibility is humane responsibility. Responsibility to mankind. Here, all humane values are in effect. This means sharing the totality consciousness of the whole. This means that a human possesses all the humane virtues and assembles in himself, herself, all the qualities mentioned above. Here, to never to think negatively, to reach a supreme consciousness in which one can heartily embrace even the enemy, and moral faith is the purpose. So we're talking about a unity consciousness. We're talking about sharing this unity consciousness and being able to embrace and love anyone who has actually harmed us and we consider as an enemy or could be considered as an enemy. And number 6, worldly responsibility. Here is consciousness in which one is able to embrace the entire nature and creation. It is in effect such as stone, soil, animal, plant, and all efforts made for them not to suffer harm and to protect them are registered in this responsibility. So if you're holding a piece of plastic in your hand, what do you do with it? Do you put it in the recycle bin? Do you throw it out to be part of a landfill or dumped out to the sea? What is your approach to preserving both your life and the life around you and the planet around you to make sure it is respected and protected? So even soil, even stone, everything needs to be respected and protected. And we are supposed to make sure that we do not leave any unwanted environments. So in conclusion, futuristic, sustainable, smart cities represent the next frontier in urban development. By integrating technology, sustainability, and the community, these cities aim to create livable environments that can adapt to the needs of their residents while preserving the planet for future generations. As more cities embrace this model, we move closer to a future where urban living is synonymous with sustainability and innovation. So sustainability is not just a choice, but it's also a human responsibility we all share. As we evolve and embrace the responsibilities above, we will gain more understanding on the importance of sustainability and making conscious choices. So each of us is here on this planet with a specific goal and a specific mission to accomplish. And part of that is to make sure that the planet that we're living on, whether we're in the city or in the environment or in a rural environment or a urban environment, we make sure that we leave that environment in a way that allows the people who come after us to live there as well. So we can create a positive impact on our planet, society, and future generations, whether it's through small changes in our daily habits or supporting more significant sustainable initiatives like futuristic cities. So we need to think about all the things we have in our homes, all the things that we possess, and what to do with them. Do we donate them to someone who needs it? Do we dump them in a dumping site? These are all conscious choices we need to make, and keeping in mind the responsibilities that are mentioned in the knowledge book. We are responsible not only for ourselves, but making sure, we are responsible for ourselves, but we're also responsible to maintain a healthy living environment and include everyone in that environment. Now, everyone has the power to contribute to a more sustainable and equitable world. So let us embrace sustainability as a collective effort and work towards a brighter and more conscious future, which emphasizes the entire nature and creation. So sustainability, not technology, and focus on livability, on protecting ourselves, protecting the environment, protecting all the living and non-living beings in that environment should be our focus in creating future cities. Yes, it's nice to see this exotic buildings and exotic shapes that architects can put together and build. But our main focus needs to be an environment that's sustainable and we are respectful to everything that's in it. So let me go over this again because this is important. And it emphasizes that we are responsible for what we do for ourselves and for others. So family number 3, family responsibility, is the only view of the divine branks that humans will gain humane qualities in proportion with their loyalty to their homes. Supreme qualities like patience, tolerance, altruism, forgiveness are blessings this noble institution will make you gain, except very abnormal life conditions. So the family is the hearth. Family is the place where we initially learn to love those in the family. We learn to love someone other than ourselves. We start out loving just ourselves and taking care of ourselves. And through the interactions within the family, we learn to wait. We learn to have patience. We learn to tolerate whatever we don't like. We learn to give without expecting anything in return. and we are able to forgive whatever happens and forget about it and not bring it up 20 years later as having been hurt. So this is the function of the family. It is a hearth that allows everyone to undergo a learning experience of love of the other. Now, in social responsibility, consciousness of sharing and material moral sacrifice are the most prominent and required qualities. And here, the thought registers of the given donations are card indexed. So in terms of social responsibility, we need to be able to share both material and moral items. So material meaning physical things, whether donating furniture to an organization that provides that furniture to someone who needs it and can't afford it, whether it's moral sacrifice being a helping hand or giving someone moral support or loving care when they need it. And here, again, the reason why you're doing something, the reason why you're giving moral or material support is very important. Is it, is the gift a bargaining chip, a bargaining tool, a purchase of something bigger that the person in front of you or the beings that are being donated to then need to return in kind? So it is important that way. And humane responsibility, this is responsibility to mankind. Here, all humane values are in effect. This means sharing the totality consciousness of the whole. This means that a human possesses all the humane virtues and assembles in himself, herself, all the qualities mentioned above. Here, to never to think negatively, to reach a supreme consciousness in which one can heartily embrace even the enemy, and moral faith is the purpose. So we need to love humanity. We need to incorporate in ourselves all those virtues that we've been taught for a long time. And the most important here is, according to me, that we are able to love even the enemy, to be able to embrace those who have harmed you, to forgive them, and to be able to let go any harm that has been given or made to us. Let it go, forget it, and live peacefully with everyone. And worldly responsibility. Here is consciousness in which one is able to embrace the entire nature and creation, is an effect such as stone, soil, animal, plant. All the efforts made for them not to suffer harm and to protect them are registered in this responsibility. So, do we protect and do we um, sorry, do we donate or help animal shelters? Do we take care of old horses? Do we take care of animals that have been used um, as workhorses in the best way we can? Do we donate if we don't have cats, if we don't have dogs, if we don't have immediate pets? Then we should be able to support them in any way we can by donations or helping out in the shelters. And here, even stone is to be respected, even soil is to be respected, and plants. Um, Plants are also conscious. It turns out that plants have the ability to sense its surroundings. In essence, the plant has the kind of cells that are in our retina all over our body. Okay, so this is all we have time for today. Um, just want to mention the websites, www.dkb-mevlana.org.tr, which is the Turkish main center, www.usa.theknowledgebook.net is the United States website. www.calltofriendship.org is a Call to Friendship website. Any questions or any suggestions, my number is 973-787-7035 or mmjp99@gmail.com. So thank you for listening. We'll see you again. Take care. Bye.
You've been listening to Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Ptaszek. Marge was led to the Knowledge Book, a gift to humanity, at its time of transition to the Golden Age that provides the truth, energies, and knowledge. Now, she shares information from and answers questions about the Knowledge Book with you the fourth Tuesday each month at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net and tune in next time for another amazing show on Knowledge Book Radio.